Hello and welcome back to day 7. Yes, I know this is meant to be day 8 of our Camera Confidence 30-day challenge, but yesterday it was a really nice sunny day, as it is today, and as it's been such miserable weather in the UK recently, I thought, you know what, life is too short to stay indoors and not go out and enjoy the weather. So that's what I did. So, day 7, today, I thought we'd talk about what they don't tell you when you turn 50, or for some women, it may be 40s. And so now I know I'm just sharing what I've learned that I was never taught, or I think for our generation, we were never taught. And it's different now because we have social media and there's lots of us over 40s and 50s who are sharing our life experiences. But I thought for those who are younger than 40 plus years, this may come in helpful, because I know it would have been helpful for me had I known what this is all about, this stage in life. Okay, so the first thing that I was never taught, or I learnt on my own, is that hormones are everything. Now, when I was about 45, mid 40s, I had already been 42 or 40s for about 10 years. Do the maths, you know what I mean. But I was 38 for about 10 years, let's just say. And my daughter used to say, "Mom, I don't think you'll ever get old." And I thought, yay. Because, like my mother, I have to admit, and that is genetics, but also looking after myself, that I've been lucky that I look a lot younger than my age. But however, when perimenopause started hitting, so to speak, and I was 48 when I finally started noticing proper menopausal symptoms, and that was the beginning of my perimenopause journey. And basically, this is the stage in life, if you're there with me, that you know that hormones just changes everything about you. So it's harder to lose weight, your moods are fluctuating. For me, I suffered with, and sometimes I still do, with disturbed sleep, whereby you wake up in the middle of the night, normally about between 2 and 4, and find it really hard to get back to sleep again. And my moods, as I've mentioned in my previous videos, I do get depressive tendencies. And that's how I found out I was in perimenopause, because I'd wake up feeling depressed, and I went to see my GP, or my doctor, who diagnosed early menopause, which is basically perimenopause. And I found out, I never realized that the word perimenopause existed up until my doctor told me that I was in early menopause. Um, so that was that's one thing that we don't ever get told, or not our generation anyway. I think there's a lot more awareness about hormones changing nowadays. So the second thing that I had to learn and was never taught about being in your 50s, 40s, is that your diet has to change. Because of the hormonal changes happening in your body, your diet, and I didn't put this, but also your exercise has to change. Namely, because of the hormonal changes, our body reacts differently to foods. So, for example, sugar is a trigger for hot flushes and mood fluctuations and things like that. And at the beginning of my perimenopause journey, which I didn't know, I was drinking a lot as you do when you're in your younger years. Didn't, although I was aware of eating healthy and I was eating healthy-ish, I was still eating a lot of desserts, sugary foods, drinking alcohol, um, pasta a lot, and I never realised those really affect your metabolism as you get older. So over time, I had to make changes in my diet, and I've got no choice. Well, we do have a choice, but we have the consequences of those choices. You either carry on eating the foods you were eating when you were in your 30s or as you were growing up, or you have the consequences of low moods, hot flashes, brain fog, disturbed sleep, and I like to feel good, so I had to make those changes. The third thing is that in your 50s or your 40s, and I guess my 40s, my late 40s really started this journey that you don't get told about. And I'm not sure whether this gets spoken about outside the menopause journey, so to speak, because I know that although we're all going through menopause from as early as 35, a lot of life changes tends to be attributed, or menopause gets the blame for everything, which I don't think it's fair. So the third thing really for me is we're going through, you could go through the dark night of the soul, is what I call it. And basically for me, this means that because of the way I guess society perceives you, and it is partly to do with hormones, you go through something what I call the dark night of the soul, which made me question. And I think at this point in life, we've had enough life experiences that makes me question my choices, people and people's opinions, my opinions, just question my life experiences and what I've had to do to cope with those experiences. And I'm talking about making bad decisions because we were never taught, or for me, if you don't have the right guidance, I think you do question how you get into the situation that you are now. That's what definitely what's happened for me. And and also, so you get things like celebrities using cosmetic surgery to remain relevant, and you just think, well, one, I can't afford cosmetic surgery. Two, I don't really believe in it. And you question, why is it wrong to age as you are? Now, I know some people who really use these filters, social media filters, and it looks so fake and horrible. You can tell it's fake. And it's a case of, why can you not accept yourself? So these are all the sort of questions for me, the dark night of the soul, that I have worked through my journaling. I'm not saying I am in a perfect place right now, because I don't think we're ever in a perfect place. We're in a better place, and these will be some of the other topics that I've already got a list of what to explore for this channel. But I think having worked through my demons, my issues, my emotional and everything else, issues that I've had in the past, you get to a stage where really you learn self-acceptance. And that's what I learned in my, that's what I talked about in my video on journaling, that I have worked through my demons, those suppressed emotions, those suppressed feelings, and and the whole purpose for that for me is taking accountability for my actions and how I got myself into that situation, and learning that by doing that, I'm able to now, I have hindsight and clarity to make changes in my actions to make, hopefully, the next 30 plus years of the rest of my life. And for me, I've looked in the mirror and I've sort of like, boobs aren't as high up as they used to be. My skin is not as taut as they used to be. I've got grey hair. I stopped dyeing my hair, probably 7 years ago, and thankfully it's still in that transitional stage like we are. And I've looked in the mirror and just think, well, it is what it is. And I just shrug and accept it. What can I do? What can you do apart from spend loads of money on plastic surgery, which I don't have? And I just think, if you're trying to cover yourself or these so-called flaws, why? And it's the same reason as I stopped dyeing my hair, because it's just so much effort. Let me just grow old gracefully and accept that it's part of life, and some people don't get to reach our age, so just be happy being you. And the fifth thing, because I don't want to go into too much, because I know my videos have been so long recently, the fifth thing is not caring about people's opinions of me anymore. And that's one thing that I learned especially from last year, whereby give me 5 years ago and I wouldn't go out without makeup on. I wouldn't normally wear so much makeup anyway. I prefer the natural look. And it's got to a point and I thought, you know what? I am not looking for a date, I'm not looking for love, I'm not looking for a man, I'm not looking for validation or acceptance. I've accepted myself, and I don't always go out with makeup on. I have to admit, I will put my eyebrows in because I've always been pretty hairless. And what I mean by that is because I've been lucky that I don't have to shave or armpits or hairy legs or arms and things like that. So I've been really lucky in that way. But the downside of that is I have minimal eyebrows, and I do fill them in because that's the only thing that I get self-conscious about. And there's a saying, actually, when it comes to not caring about people's opinions. So it goes, when you're 20, you care what people think. When you're 40, you stop caring what people think. And when you're 60, you realize nobody was actually thinking of you. And this is because they're too busy thinking, we're all too busy thinking about ourselves or what people are thinking. They're thinking about us. So there you go. And the reason for that is life got too short. There were so many important things that's happening that I had to cope with. If you can hear noise in the background, it's because family are back and the little children are, they're not so little, but there you go. I stopped caring about what people think. The only reason I put my eyebrows on is because I care how I look to me. And yeah, life is too short. There was just too many things going on to care about what people what are thinking about me. And it takes some practice to do this. It doesn't come automatically. It just takes some practice to think, you know what, and it helps that I had worked through my own issues to feel comfortable in my own skin, and that there will be videos that I will do, and it's just self-acceptance. I don't want to cover up my flaws, so to speak. I want to look presentable and presented, but I don't want to hide the true me. And so I know that there's a lot more things that I could share, but I really don't want to make too long a video today. And especially now that I am not on my own upstairs. And hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts. Have you learnt to accept yourself? What have you learnt about being 40 or 50 that no one ever taught you? And I'll see you in tomorrow's video.